Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most important questions for every English learner. What is the best way to learn English? Millions of people around the world are learning English. Some learn quickly. Some struggle for years. Some become fluent. And some give up. Why does this happen? The answer is not intelligence. It is not talent. And it is not luck. The biggest difference is the learning method. Many learners spend years memorizing grammar rules. Many learners spend years collecting vocabulary lists. Many learners keep studying but never feel confident speaking. The problem is not that they are lazy. The problem is that they are learning English in the wrong way. The good news is that learning English does not have to be complicated. You do not need to be a genius. You do not need to live in an English-speaking country. You do not need expensive courses. You simply need the right habits and the right approach. In today's lesson, I will share the most effective methods that can help you improve your English naturally, build confidence, and move toward fluency step by step. Before we begin, remember that every minute you spend listening to English is helping your brain grow. Keep practicing every day, keep believing in yourself, and if you enjoy these lessons, don't forget to subscribe for more English learning and self-improvement content. Chapter 1. Stop studying English and start living in English. This may sound surprising, but it is one of the biggest secrets of successful English learners. Most people treat English like a school subject. They open a book, they study grammar, they memorize words, then they close the book and forget about English for the rest of the day. The next day, they repeat the same process. This is one reason progress becomes slow. Because English is not just a subject. English is a language, and languages are meant to be used. Think about how you learned your first language. Did you memorize grammar books as a baby? Did you study vocabulary lists for hours? Of course not. You learned by living with the language. You heard it every day. You used it every day. You experienced it every day. That constant exposure helped your brain learn naturally. The same principle works for English. If you want to improve faster, English must become part of your daily life. Not just part of your study time, part of your life. For example, listen to English while walking. Listen to English while exercising. Listen to English while traveling. Listen to English while doing household work. Fill your day with English. Many learners underestimate the power of listening. But listening is one of the strongest language learning tools in the world. The more English you hear, the more familiar it becomes. Your brain starts recognizing patterns. Your ears start recognizing pronunciation. Your mind starts understanding sentence structures. And slowly, English begins feeling natural. Another powerful habit is changing your environment. Change your phone language to English. Write notes in English. Create reminders in English. Use English in small daily situations. These tiny changes create extra exposure. And extra exposure creates faster improvement. Another important lesson is to stop waiting for perfect conditions. Many learners say, "I will practice when I have more free time. I will practice when I find a partner. I will practice when I feel motivated." But successful learners think differently. They use the time they already have. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, a short podcast, a few sentences, a quick conversation with themselves. These small moments add up. Imagine practicing English for just 30 minutes every day. That becomes over 180 hours in a year. Think about how much improvement can happen in 180 hours. The answer is a lot. Another common mistake is separating English from real life. Many learners think, this is study time. This is normal life. Instead, combine them. If you enjoy sports, watch sports content in English. If you enjoy technology, watch technology videos in English. If you enjoy motivation, listen to motivational podcasts in English. Use your interests to learn the language. This makes learning more enjoyable. And enjoyable learning is easier to maintain. Another important truth is that fluency grows through familiarity. The more often you see English, hear English, and use English, the less foreign it feels. And when English stops feeling foreign, speaking becomes easier. Confidence grows, understanding improves, and communication becomes more natural. Remember this powerful lesson. Do not make English something you only study. Make English something you live. Because the learners who improve the fastest are often the learners who surround themselves with English every day. And once English becomes part of your lifestyle, improvement becomes much easier. That is why living in English is one of the best ways to learn English successfully. Chapter 2. Focus on understanding before speaking perfectly. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is trying to speak perfectly from the very beginning. They worry about grammar. They worry about pronunciation. They worry about making mistakes. Because of this, they become afraid to speak. And fear slows down learning. Now think about children learning their first language. Children do not speak perfectly. They make mistakes every day. Sometimes they use the wrong words. Sometimes they say sentences incorrectly. But nobody expects perfection from them. They keep listening. They keep speaking. And over time, they improve naturally. You should learn English in a similar way. Instead of asking, how can I speak perfectly? Start asking, how can I understand more English every day? Because understanding comes before fluency. The more English you understand, the easier speaking becomes. This is why listening is so important. When you listen regularly, your brain starts collecting English patterns. You hear common phrases. You hear common sentence structures. You hear natural pronunciation. And without realizing it, your brain begins learning. For example, imagine hearing the phrase, "How are you doing today?" hundreds of times. Eventually, you do not need to translate it. You understand it immediately. That is how language learning works. Repeated exposure creates familiarity, and familiarity creates fluency. Another powerful lesson is to listen to content slightly above your level. Not too easy, not too difficult. If everything is too easy, improvement becomes slow. If everything is too difficult, frustration increases. Find content that challenges you but still allows you to understand the main idea. This is where real growth happens. Another important habit is active listening. Do not simply hear English. Pay attention to it. Notice how sentences are formed. Notice how speakers connect words. Notice common expressions. Notice pronunciation patterns. The more attention you give, the more you learn. Many learners underestimate how much listening can improve speaking. But listening provides the raw material that speaking requires. Your brain cannot use patterns it has never heard. That is why listening is the foundation of fluency. The more you understand, the more confidently you speak. The more confidently you speak, the more fluency develops. And that process begins with understanding. Chapter 3. Build fluency through daily speaking practice. This chapter may be the most important chapter of all, because many learners understand English, but they cannot speak it. They know vocabulary, they know grammar, they understand videos, but when it is time to talk, they struggle. Why? Because speaking is a skill, and skills improve through practice. Imagine someone who wants to learn football. They watch football every day. They read football books. They study football strategies, but they never play football. Will they become a great player? Of course not. The same thing happens with English. You cannot become a confident speaker without speaking. Your mouth must practice. Your tongue must practice. Your brain must practice creating English sentences. That only happens when you speak. Many learners believe they need a speaking partner every day. That is not true. A speaking partner is helpful, but it is not required. You can practice alone. Talk about your day. Talk about your goals. Talk about your plans. Talk about what you see around you. Describe your room. Describe your city. Describe your favorite hobby. The topic does not matter. What matters is using English. Another powerful exercise is speaking to yourself while doing daily activities. While cooking, describe what you are doing. While walking, describe what you see. While cleaning, explain your actions in English. This turns ordinary moments into speaking practice. Another effective method is recording yourself. Choose a topic. Speak for 2 or 3 minutes. Record your voice. Then listen carefully. You will notice strengths. You will notice weaknesses. And most importantly, you will notice progress. Many learners are surprised when they compare recordings from different months. The improvement becomes obvious. Another important lesson is to stop waiting until your English becomes perfect. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. Many people delay speaking because they want perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, perfect vocabulary. But fluency comes from practice, not perfection. Every time you speak, you become a little stronger. Every time you speak, your confidence increases. Every time you speak, English becomes more natural. That is why daily speaking practice is essential. Even 10 minutes a day can create remarkable improvement. The secret is consistency, not intensity. Speak every day, even when you feel tired, even when you feel nervous, even when you make mistakes. Because every conversation is training your brain. Every sentence is building fluency. And every day of practice is bringing you closer to the confident English speaker you want to become. Chapter 4. Learn phrases, not just individual words. This is one of the biggest secrets of fluent English speakers. Many learners spend years memorizing vocabulary lists. They learn hundreds of words, sometimes even thousands. But when they try to speak, they still struggle. Why? Because real conversations are not built from individual words. They are built from phrases. Think about it. When native speakers talk, they do not stop and build every sentence word by word. They use patterns and phrases that they have heard many times before. For example, instead of learning only the word opportunity, learn, "This is a great opportunity. I don't want to miss this opportunity. I am looking for new opportunities." Instead of learning only the word problem, learn, "I have a small problem. What seems to be the problem? We need to solve this problem." This approach is much more powerful because you are learning English the way it is actually used. Another important benefit is that phrases improve fluency. When you learn complete phrases, your brain stores ready-made pieces of language. Then, when you speak, you can use those pieces immediately. You do not need to create every sentence from zero. This makes speaking faster and more natural. Another useful habit is keeping a phrase notebook. Every day, write down useful phrases. Not difficult phrases. Useful phrases. Phrases you hear in videos. Phrases you hear in podcasts. Phrases you hear in conversations. Then review them regularly. Read them aloud. Repeat them several times. Use them in your own examples. For example, if you learn, "It depends," practice it. "It depends on the weather." "It depends on the situation." "It depends on your goals." This helps move the phrase from memory into real communication. Another powerful exercise is phrase repetition. Choose 5 useful phrases every day. Repeat them multiple times. Speak them slowly. Speak them naturally. Use them in different situations. This strengthens your speaking ability. Many learners focus too much on rare vocabulary, but fluent speakers often use simple phrases extremely well. That is why common phrases are more valuable than complicated words. Remember this: words help you understand English. Phrases help you speak English. And speaking is what fluency is all about. The more useful phrases you learn, the easier communication becomes. And the easier communication becomes, the faster your fluency grows. Chapter 5. Create a daily English system. One of the biggest reasons people fail to learn English is inconsistency. They study when they feel motivated. Then they stop when motivation disappears. They practice for 1 week. Then they quit for 2 weeks. Then they start again. This cycle slows progress. The solution is simple. Stop relying on motivation. Start building a system. A system is a routine that helps you practice English every day, whether you feel motivated or not. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not wake up every morning and ask, "Should I brush my teeth today?" You simply do it, because it is part of your routine. English should become the same way. Create a daily English system. For example, morning, listen to English for 15 minutes. Afternoon, learn 5 useful phrases. Evening, speak English for 10 minutes. Before sleeping, read 1 page in English. This may seem simple, but simple systems often create extraordinary results. Another important lesson is to make your system realistic. Many learners create impossible schedules. They promise themselves, "I will study 5 hours every day." Then they become busy. They miss a few days, and they quit. A better strategy is to start small. Start with something you can actually maintain. Even 20 or 30 minutes a day can create amazing improvement over time. Another powerful habit is tracking your progress. Use a notebook, use a calendar, use an app. Mark every day you practice. This creates momentum, and momentum helps maintain consistency. Another important truth is that consistency beats intensity. 1 hour every day is better than 7 hours once a week. Why? Because language learning requires repeated exposure. Your brain learns through repetition, not through occasional effort. Many fluent speakers did not become fluent because they studied harder than everyone else. They became fluent because they stayed consistent longer than everyone else. Day after day, week after week, month after month. And eventually, those small daily actions created remarkable results. Remember this: the best English learning system is not the most impressive system. The best English learning system is the one you actually follow. Because a simple routine followed consistently will always beat a perfect plan that never gets used. And that consistency is one of the greatest secrets of English fluency. Chapter 6. Think in English instead of translating. This is one of the most powerful habits you can develop as an English learner. Many learners understand English. Many learners know vocabulary. Many learners know grammar. But they still struggle to speak fluently. Why? Because every sentence must first travel through their native language. They think in their native language. Then they translate into English. Then they speak. This process takes time. And because it takes time, speaking becomes slow and difficult. If you want to speak naturally, you must gradually train your brain to think in English. Do not worry. You do not need advanced English to do this. Start with very simple thoughts. When you wake up in the morning, think, I need to get up. I feel tired. I am ready for breakfast. When you leave your house, think, the weather is nice today. There are many people here. I need to go to work. These simple thoughts may seem small, but they are extremely powerful because they train your brain to create English directly. Without translation, another useful exercise is describing your surroundings. Look around your room. Describe everything you see: the table, the chair, the window, the fan, the books. Use simple English. The goal is not perfection. The goal is practice. Another powerful habit is creating imaginary conversations. Pretend someone asks, "How was your day?" Answer in English. Pretend someone asks, "What are your future goals?" Answer in English. Pretend someone asks, "Why are you learning English?" Answer in English. This exercise prepares your brain for real conversations. Many learners freeze during conversations because they have never practiced creating answers quickly. Thinking in English solves this problem. Another important lesson is patience. At first, thinking in English may feel difficult. Your brain may constantly return to your native language. That is normal. Keep practicing, day after day, week after week. Eventually, something amazing happens. English thoughts begin appearing naturally. You stop translating as much. You respond more quickly, and speaking becomes smoother. Another benefit is confidence. When you think directly in English, conversations become less stressful. You no longer feel trapped between two languages. Instead, you simply communicate, and communication becomes easier. Remember this: fluent speakers usually do not translate every sentence. They think directly in English. The sooner you develop this habit, the faster your fluency will improve. Because true fluency begins inside your mind before it appears in your speech. Chapter 7. Be patient, trust the process, and never give up. This is the final chapter, and it may be the most important chapter of all. Many people start learning English, but very few continue long enough to see extraordinary results. Why? Because they become impatient. They want fluency immediately. They want perfect speaking immediately. They want confidence immediately. When those results do not appear quickly, they become discouraged. Then they quit. This is a huge mistake, because language learning is a long-term process. Think about a tree. When you plant a seed, nothing seems to happen at first. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes months pass. You cannot see much growth, but underneath the ground, roots are developing. Preparation is taking place. Then one day, visible growth appears. English works the same way. Every podcast you listen to matters. Every page you read matters. Every sentence you speak matters. Every minute of practice matters, even when you cannot immediately see the results. Your brain is learning. Your listening is improving. Your vocabulary is growing. Your speaking ability is developing, all beneath the surface. Another important lesson is to stop comparing yourself to other learners. Everyone has a different journey. Some people learn quickly. Some people learn slowly. Some people have more time. Some people have less time. Comparison creates frustration. Progress creates confidence. Instead of comparing yourself to others, ask, am I better than I was last month? Am I understanding more English? Am I speaking more confidently? If the answer is yes, then you are succeeding. Another powerful habit is celebrating small victories. Maybe you understood an English video without subtitles. Maybe you spoke English for 5 minutes. Maybe you learned 10 useful phrases. Maybe you had your first English conversation. These victories matter. They are proof that you are improving, and improvement deserves recognition. Another important lesson is consistency. You do not need to study 10 hours every day. You do not need expensive courses. You do not need special talent. What you need is consistency. 30 minutes every day. 1 hour every day. Small efforts repeated consistently. That is where fluency comes from. Many fluent English speakers are not fluent because they are smarter than everyone else. They are fluent because they stayed committed. They practiced when they felt motivated, and they practiced when they did not. They continued learning during good days, and they continued learning during difficult days. That consistency created success. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. Imagine that you continue practicing every day. Imagine that you keep listening, keep speaking, keep reading, keep thinking in English. How much improvement could happen? The answer is incredible. Your confidence could transform. Your speaking could transform. Your fluency could transform. Your opportunities could transform. All because of daily effort. That is why you must trust the process. Do not focus only on today's results. Focus on today's effort. Do not focus only on how far you still need to go. Focus on how far you have already come. And most importantly, never give up. Because every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every success story started with someone who decided to continue when quitting would have been easier. So remember these simple words. Listen every day, speak every day, read every day, think in English, learn useful phrases, build a system, stay consistent, trust the process, and never stop learning. If you follow these principles, fluency is not a matter of if. It is only a matter of when.